And we're back with another episode of the Lakers Fast Break podcast. It's Gerald Glassford coming right back at you here from Lakers Fast Break, Pop Culture Cosmos, where we cover the latest news and trends in pop culture each and every week, twice a week, wherever you get your podcasts. On this week's episode of the Pop Culture Cosmos, it is the State of Pro Wrestling for March 2024, where we cover John Cena's heel turn, where he now can no longer smile, his intention to ruin wrestling as it is. We talk about that. Is there too much violence in AEW and everything surrounding what's going on with WrestleMania week? We go ahead and cover that on the latest Pop Culture Cosmos, wherever you get your podcasts. Sean Grice is here, the Magic Man. He came right in on time. Fashionably late as he was, he announced himself, and you know what? His prognostication on a last, was it you that said it was be a last?
No, I can't take the credit for that. The credit goes to the lawn jockey.
Okay. Oh, there you go. All right. Go ahead with that. But you did throw a lot of F-bombs. Entertaining words indeed, because the Lakers deserved every one of them until the Lakers made up for it at the end. But you could go and hear Sean, Raviel. You can hear Sports Baby and Xbox fight each other. Joe and John fight each other. All the great people, all the great places. You go ahead and check out Honor Games during when we go ahead and watch the games on playback.tv/Lakers Fast Break. The Lakerholics crew are finally happy for the first time in almost a week. Go ahead and check out what they're doing today at Lakerholics.com. Our good friend Stone Hansen, probably covering the draft right about now because he couldn't make it today. Also as well, Alfred Esmond, and also as well, Legend 350. And of course, our good friends, Empire Jeff TV, covering the Lakers and the Dodgers. Dodgers starting tomorrow, or very soon, opening day. There you go. And also as well, the Joe Soro experiment as well. And of course, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Yo, all these great places, all these great people, all these great things. Shout out to Zach for Lakers Live as well. His channel's there. Go ahead, like and subscribe, but don't forget, most of all, to like and subscribe with us. Hit the thumbs up button, subscribe, be a member for just $2.99 a month. All those great things that you could be a part of right now as part of the LFB community right here at the Lakers Fast Break podcast, where the Lakers continued the road trip with a stop in Indiana today, facing off against the Pacers. And LeBron earlier today on the Pat McAfee show, talking about his deal with Stephen Smith, and he was talking about his whole deal with as far as Brian Windhorst and all that stuff. But he's kind of looked distracted. First three quarters, he looked distracted. And we're saying, what's going on? Is the 10-point double-digit streak in jeopardy here? Well, with the Lakers having an up and down game, pretty good to start. Kind of terrible in the third quarter. They got their mojo back in the fourth quarter to start off with. LeBron led them on a 10-point run, which had them up by double digits, but you know what? Halfway through the fourth quarter, the Pacers clawed their way back and actually took a lead. And they went back and forth in the final minutes. But if you guys remember, it was November 29, 2022, when Andrew Nebhard, rookie at that time, hit a game-winning last-second three-point shot. And the guy that was supposed to go out there and help and contest that shot was none other than LeBron James. Flash forward almost 3 years later, well, let's say 2.5 years later, and that when the situation was turned around for the last second, Luka Doncic drive falling just short, who was there to tip in the basket with less than a tenth of a second left, none other than LeBron James, as the Lakers escape out of Indiana with the win, the victory. It was a dead heat almost, but the Lakers came under the checkered flag with the victory, 120-119. And here today to talk about today's game, what went right and what didn't go so right. Our great guys indeed. First up, first man here, it is the madman from Toronto. He did get out of Toronto traffic to stop on by and watch this almost heartbreaker, but thank goodness it's a heart racer. Blood pressure on everybody went up today. It is, of course, the Magic Man, Sean Grice. Sean, great to have you here, my friend. The second quarter, for the Lakers, they dominated. But then, same old story in the third. They got dominated themselves. It looked like the Lakers are going to go ahead and stretch it out to an easy victory when they went up double digits in the fourth quarter, but just absolutely just stopped executing halfway through. It took a LeBron James tip-in to have us escape with the victory. By God, we needed that to stay in that top half of the Western Conference. We had dropped to fifth place. Now I believe we're tied for fourth as it stands right now. Your thoughts on today's game, and also, do they rest everybody for tomorrow? You saw what happened when they did that last time.
No, you fucking punched Chicago in the mouth. After what happened, just transpired, Gerald, you can't rest everybody.
Okay.
The Lakers mobbed LeBron in Indiana, ladies and gentlemen. Now, I've seen some great Lakers buzzer beaters in history, Gerald. We both have. Now, I didn't see Jerry West's 60-footer, but I did see Derek Fisher's .4. I did see Big Shot Bob's amazing shot. I've seen the two best I've ever seen. Kobe, obviously the 3-1 against the Suns, Gerald. Just that man was possessed to get to the bucket, and that was the most amazing buzzer beater I've ever seen. Close second is 04 in Portland when I believe the Kobe stopper Ruben Patterson got shown up in his own building, Gerald. Not once, but twice by Kobe. LeBron's buzzer beater tonight doesn't rank up there, but it ranks ahead of Ron Artest's crazy layup against the Suns. Just an amazing, amazing finish. The only thing that matters is the final score, Gerald. 120-19. What I will say is all five Lakers starters were in double figures. There were multiple players who had 4 more rebounds, Gerald. I think 5 or 6. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the usual suspects, Austin Reeves, LeBron, and Luka, each had over 5 assists. So, I mean, what our strengths are offensively shone through eventually. But the fact is that tip-in is the only thing that matters. And I believe that's LeBron's first buzzer beater as a Laker. He's had multiple with the Cavs, and I believe he's had a couple with the Heat. So again, another notch in LeBron's legendary historical career. Tip of the cap to the Lakers, and a tip of the cap to Joe Soro, who basically willed it into the universe that the Lakers were going to win on a buzzer beater. Into that, I segue to Joe Soro.
He did, but hold on. Before Joe Soro goes,
no. He predicted it, Johnny. He gets to go.
I need to claim my money.
He gets the conch.
Money's on.
Okay, that's cool. But Joe gets the conch.
Joe can go ahead and speak on the game before I can. But before Joe goes, really quick, I speak the truth. Brother, you're in the building. You know you have this $100 out there, man. You said you betted $100 LeBron James wouldn't come back until playoffs. I took you up on that bet. You're here. We've been looking for you. We got a bounty on your head. So I speak the truth. You know my Instagram. You know my TikTok. You know my Twitter. DM me, and we're going to get this $100 settled. Joe, go ahead and speak, brother. I'll talk on you.
And Intel as well.
Boy, did they that they need this. I guess it was worth going through the headache to win like this. I think sometimes a jolt like this can reinvigorate the juices, and more than that is props to Rui. He put them in the position at the end there with those 2 threes that were huge. I don't know if Austin was hurting. I know he had to go to the locker room earlier in the game. I don't know if he was messed up and he was just kind of playing through it. Luka, I thought, gave up a couple of easy baskets, passing them out from what looked like layups. I don't know why. Would have preferred him to just get the layup, but in the end here, it worked out. It's a win. It's a kind of like a return volley to Indiana for what they did to the Lakers as well. And I'll get into the other details of the game, some of the positives and some of the negatives. But in as far as how this ended, it ended in a good way in that, it's a regular season game. It's an important game. You're on the road. It's Indiana, and you win in a buzzer beater. Sometimes you just got to enjoy these games. I think we weren't able to enjoy this game probably as much because they were not playing well, and it wouldn't have happened if they hadn't had so many just dead brain executions on defense. I don't even know how to explain it other than that. I don't understand why they have such effective shot making abilities and they make the shots and then it's a layup line literally 4 to 5 seconds later. But it was nice to see LeBron hit a game winner. I can't remember the last time he hit a game winner in a Laker uniform. Do you guys remember?
Sean said it was his first.
I thought it was his first.
I think it's his first because I would have remembered.
It is.
I would have remembered it too. So if I can't remember it and you can't remember it, guess what? Guess what, brother? Guess what, my brother? Guess what, my brother from the other brother? It didn't fucking happen.
Is the cup lighting up, Joe? That's
wow,
legit.
that's dope.
There you go.
How old this cup is?
How
old? I got this. I got this at the game. I got this at Staples, and this thing is still glittering purple and gold from 20 years ago. I don't know what. Let me see here. Is it China?
Their manufacturer. China. They're doing a good job.
This is the greatest Chinese product ever made.
I speak the truth. I mean, Johnny reminds me of Bricktop from Snatch.
I need my money, brother. Need my money. Joe, I don't know where in the world he went, but I need my money, man.
Oh, sorry.
Jeff knew. See, Jeff knows.
And by the way, Johnny, he's got one of the best quotes of that film, Snatch, Guy Ritchie's. I wasn't asking, I was telling.
Straight up.
Oh, he said LeBron hit one versus the Warriors on the plan. Thank you, Nick T, for chiming in there.
All right. Wow, I don't remember that. That's
a buzzer beater.
Really?
It was a last-second shot.
It might have been a last-second shot. This one was actually a buzzer beater.
A legit buzzer beater.
No, he does have one. It was 1 for 29. I remember the stat a month ago that came out. Yeah, I meant buzzer beater. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again,
no. Those are game-winning shots. A game-winning shot and a buzzer beater can be one and the same, but they're also two different as well. Derek Fisher hit .4. That's a game winner. That's not a buzzer beater. All of the research.
Won the game.
Yeah.
I speak the truth. Go ahead. What are we going to double? He said double or nothing. What are we doubling or nothing, brother? There's nothing.
Empire says he hit that. He says he thinks he hit that to tie the game and go to OT. Can somebody clarify that on the OT?
Yeah, I'm looking it up right now. I'm just clarifying.
Walk off then. Just say walk off at this point.
120 to 119. It is the Los Angeles Lakers beating the Indiana Pacers. They are now 44-28, tied for fourth in the Western Conference. Big shout out to No Joker for the super chat. Also as well, Nick Joker, No Joker's super chat put in their $20. Truly appreciate it because LeBron got a classic Laker moment. Nobody will remember his missed shots on the night the fact he was 2 points, I believe, or 3 points heading into the fourth quarter, just his buzzer beater. Absolutely.
here-
We
How it
remember.
works.
Yep. But here today to go ahead and discuss today's game is good man indeed. A man who I think I speak the truth owes $100 to. Right there for you. Plus, also as well, he is one half of the starring duo of my latest video I dropped on the channel, the very controversial one in regards to LeBron versus MJ. I can see there's amongst our fans in the comments, there's a lot that was teetering one way and a lot that was teetering against him. Kind of had some pointed words for this man, but for his bravado, I do go ahead and give him a lot of props for. It is the man behind Clutch Talk and Lakers Corner. It is John Costa. John, great to have you here. The L is shining right above your head after a today's game. I don't feel take a step back. Yes, we got the win, but there's still a lot of things that are concerning right now with the Lakers, like starting tomorrow when they go to Chicago. Joe, I'm going to talk to you about that here in a second. Today's game. I think we lost you there. Got you. Go ahead, John. You're back. Go ahead. Go ahead, my friend.
Can you guys hear me? Because I can't hear you at all.
Yes, you're all good.
Okay.
Yes, you're good.
Cool. All right. Well,
you're good to go.
My thing is tripping. I'm super laggy. But man, thoughts on this game. Crazy how a terrible night that LeBron had, like, I mean, really throughout the whole game until that fourth quarter. It's crazy how it'll all just be forgotten about because of that tip in, but that's the way life works. It's more of like, what have you done for me lately? And what has he done lately is he helped the Lakers win that game. So that that's on that. But one of my biggest concerns that I had with this game, and that I've had with so many games throughout the season, is just late. I wouldn't even say late half, late, literally every quarter. We do not execute late in the quarter, and it's like these runs that they go on, they'll build a little at the end of the third quarter and beginning of fourth quarter runs. They'll build on these little runs. Like they'll go on a little run at the end of the quarter, start the next quarter on fire because of that. And it's like we could have a lot of these teams put out and put to bed in some of these games if we don't just choke the other the end of the quarter. I think the second quarter is a perfect example of that. We outscored them 40-22. We could have outscored them like 40-15 in that second quarter. But what happens at the end? Bad habits. They go on a little run, and they put together some confidence, and then coming into the third quarter, what do they have? They have all the confidence in the world and go ahead and put us in the hole, outscoring us 37-27. And then fourth, we have to ask LeBron to come out, with some. I would say the first like couple of minutes were heroic, and then he got right back to his bad usual self, just isolation, not taking good shots, and then that tip in, which he erases it all. But I mean, look, guys, I think one of the biggest concerns that I have is we went into halftime up by 13, and we went into the fourth quarter only up by 3, and it's the Indiana Pacers. Like I don't think that this is how we should be fumbling against, I would say, mediocre teams, to be honest with you. But hey, man, we got the win. And to answer your question, Gerald, I don't think, I know you didn't ask me, but I'm just gonna go ahead and answer it. I do not think that we should rest anybody tomorrow. We have no more leisure. We don't have the option to be out here resting people and just saying go ahead and go ahead and rest because it's Chicago Bulls, because we saw what happened last time. And because of the games to Gerald and Joe's point, oh, like it was just one game. It was just one game. It just one game turned into 3 games. And now we are in a situation where we cannot be resting players here. But yeah, that's what I'll say with that.
To clarify, Gerald,
Mhm.
Empire Jeff, I can confirm the same sourcing. That was a game tying shot against the Warriors. It wasn't a
Okay.
game winner, and it wasn't a buzzer beater. Okay, LeBron has in his career now 7 career buzzer beaters. 5 are in the playoffs. This is his first buzzer beater as a Laker. Again, to reiterate, we're not being conceited here, Gerald, but me and Joe would remember something like that. Our combined
Yes.
history of the Lakers, we would both be on that right away.
I feel
Yes.
like you
I
just
agree.
remember that. LeBron hasn't been on the Lakers that long.
Well,
also today,
that's not true. He's going to be almost doubling his
28,
time.
2019, 2020, 2021, 21, 22, 22, 23, 23, 24, 25, 26, and we think 26, 27. So that'll be double what he played for the Heat. He played 4 seasons for the Heat. I think he wants to play at least another 2 with the Lakers. So that will put him at 8.
Yeah.
8 seasons.
Yeah,
Damn.
you're right. I mean, it's gone by a lot faster than I guess than I realized, but it just hasn't.
If I'm not mistaken, that'd be longer than Powell. LeBron would be a longer Laker than Powell was a Laker.
Yeah.
but also here today, good man indeed. I didn't give him a proper introduction. He is the host of the upcoming Joe Soro experiment. This also as well. He has his game, Corrupt, COREUPT on Steam. And of course, he owns that smiling face, a face only a mother could love. And I'm not even sure about that. It is, of course, Mr. Simblades with a Y.com, who also was one half of the starring duo in our trending video right now with him and John on the LeBron MJ debate. But you know what? I'm glad LeBron, whether you think he's the GOAT or not, he got it done today. But Joe, there's the little matter of guess what? Another back-to-back that the Lakers are on, because tomorrow they're headed over to the United Center and the Chicago Bulls. Boy, here we go again, Joe. Another decision that the Lakers shouldn't really have to make. It should be just a no-brainer. Like John says, just play everyone, because it's already that late in the season. You already messed things up the first time with your stupid idiots as far as the mistakes that you made, keeping everybody out last Thursday. But you know what? I have my doubts. I'm seriously, I have my doubts that they're going to play everybody and do the smart thing again tomorrow in Chicago, Joe.
I don't see any reason why there shouldn't be full throttle the rest of the way. There's really no room to rest anymore.
Listen, maybe that's why they rested Dalton Connect virtually the entire game. There was a rumor that he was on the team, but yes, he was there on the sidelines.
This is the second time I think this week where Dalton came in for 14 seconds, hit a 3, and then you never saw him again.
Yep.
I don't know what's going on there. I really don't. And based off of their execution on defense, I just don't know what the difference would be. Maybe he's just a frustrated.
Can I just say this? 5 minutes, Joe, plus 18.
Maybe he's a frustrating player to JJ. Maybe he's off communication wise. Maybe he's aloof. Sometimes it's not the game that might be the issue. It might be the personality. Because I don't see any reason why this guy, who we're looking at a rookie here, who's a sniper already, and they're not taking advantage of it because I think there might be something mental that's not connecting with JJ, the proverbial doghouse, but not really too vocal about it. looking at how the game played out, it would have been an enjoyable game if the Lakers weren't in their current position of needing to win, because you want to enjoy these kind of games too sometimes, back and forth. Teams are hitting shots, but the hard part again is the 2 second left on the clock, and then they get the ball right under the goddamn rim. When is this going to stop? I mean, I want to know why teams don't practice anymore. We're not asking them to run marathons in practice. Could they at least figure this out? That there's competent basketball players here. Am I wrong? How is it that this thing keeps happening over and over again? That is the most frustrating part about this game. If it was Turner hitting shots, which is really what brought him in the game, it was like Laker Tom's wet dream happening all at once. Turner just kept hitting shots, kept hitting threes. That is how you're supposed to lose, not playing with your dick, waiting for some guy to come out of nowhere with 2 seconds left and get a layup. Like, what is that? When is that going to stop? That's the first question I have with the Lakers. Like, where is your brains? You turn it over because you had a bad angle. Luka keeps passing away from freaking layups. Fix it. Fix these. Fix it. Why aren't they fixing it? Is it hard? Seriously, I'm asking a question and I want an answer. Who's going to ask these guys these questions? No one. Because I don't know, JJ might sit there and go get all weird, right? All of a sudden then you ask LeBron that question, then he's going on the Pat McAfee show and explaining how he's being ostracized. I want to know why these guys break down almost 7 to 8 times a game on the simplest fundamental game play. And that's, I think, something that everybody should be asking themselves. And beyond that, back and forth, this team makes a run, that team makes a run, LeBron not playing well. We're in an era of sports where we're literally, well, not literally, but we're dissecting every single possession, every dribble, even in the regular season. Can't we
just enjoy?
Yes, you're right.
Can't we just enjoy this?
We are going to enjoy it.
I had the best Japanese barbecue of my life tonight. I had some wet pussy, Joe.
That's fine.
And LeBron hit a buzzer beater. It's a great night.
That's fine.
Enjoy the buzzer beater.
That buzzer beater does not exist if they didn't play shitty fundamental basketball.
Agreed. Agreed. We shouldn't have been in that position,
gentlemen.
I'm sorry. This was not.
Sometimes you just gotta enjoy the
yes,
things.
I enjoyed the end result, but
oh, God.
But I'm waiting on what usually happens after games like this. Are they going to get full of themselves
and get overconfident? Sean, we were talking about this last stream. Remember the unwavering confidence that comes from fucking I don't know where, but yeah. Joe, I don't know if you had some more to go on, but
well, here's the thing: if this was right after the 8-game winning streak, of course this probably wouldn't be a discussion really, but we would still be saying like, why are you guys letting guys just too many leaks in this boat? You got to close out those leaks. And I'm sorry, I'm not gonna buy into the fact that you're not able to practice. This isn't a practice thing. This is a knowledge thing. A fundamental thing. Can you guys go to the gym and work these out a little bit, please?
I like that.
That's all I'm asking. Why are they letting guys leak and getting layups with 2 seconds left? It's just not good. Because I'm thinking about the future too. I'm thinking about what's going to happen here in the next few weeks. But I'll get into more detail on that as tomorrow's game progresses, because I think that's going to be a good barometer on how this team is going to kind of
But do
finish
you
this.
think they'll sit people out tomorrow, Joe?
They better not.
I better not. We have no leeway to do that.
I gotta indulge Nick T real quick because he wanted me to crap on Luka's defense. Luka's defense wasn't as bad as his decision making at the basket. There was 2 layups he had that he didn't shoot, and Luka's got to fix that too. By the way, you can't do that.
Look,
Get the goddamn layup.
Look. If it comes down to a layup or a kick out, you take the fucking layup. You take the 2 points. You don't take the 45 or 53% chance that you'll make the 3. No, you take the 88 to 98% chance that you're going to make the fucking layup. He knows better than that. He was just trying to be cute.
Braun, I don't doubt that players in his position will pace throughout the game. His shot was off, but when you look at there are more factors in a game performance than just scoring. Sometimes your shot is off. Maybe he just felt like I have no confidence tonight in my shot. But he did have 13 rebounds, and he did get to the basket in the end. So, yes, I do believe he paced himself. I just don't think we've ever seen him pace himself this much, because I think he did think sort of, hey, man, let me get myself a little bit of wind here so we have enough for tomorrow. And they were up 17 at one point, and you saw what happened. So I can't read their minds. I'm going to go by just kind of common sense as much as I can. Yes, I think he paced himself, but I think his team and the team just dynamic just didn't tighten up where they needed to, so that this could have been a 10-point win without all this headache.
If I could hop in here real quick. So 2 things. One, to Che, or his comment, his name is CHE. He said Dalton needs positive reinforcement. I agree. I think he's one of those players that he needs, and you have to understand, this is like part of like coaching in this new era. Like you can't just beat everyone to the ground and be like, oh, you fucking piece of shit, and do it, because that's just not what this generation is anymore. You have to understand that some players you have to talk to in a certain way, and I think Dalton Connect is one of those guys, right? Like he needs to be built up for him to be able to perform. Like I think if he's constantly torn down, and looks like that's what's going on around him, so I agree with you on that. But about the point, oh fuck, I was gonna say something about Joe's point. Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say. But anywho,
yeah.
First
of all, I don't think harshness and disrespect is JJ's style all that much, more than he likes to massage guys' egos. That there's something. I agree. Positive reinforcement is better than negative connotation. 100%. 100%. Nobody would disagree. That being said, like Joe said, there's something going on there. There's something going on. There's something underneath the surface. We all feel it. So if you can feel it, where there's smoke, there's fire. Hopefully, but Gerald is hopefully right in his own right when he says that maybe resting Dalton Connect tonight meant that he's going to play heavy minutes tomorrow in Chicago, and hopefully he makes like 12 or 13 threes tomorrow. Like he just gets red hot, like fire.
One thing I don't get, but Magic, I'm going to get it back to you here in a minute here, and it is again the Lakers getting the buzzer beater from LeBron James on the tip-in, 120 to 119. They're now tied for 4th place in the Western Conference. Magic, I will get it back to you after realizing you've had a very, you've had a better evening than I have. I'll just leave it at that. And that includes the Japanese barbecue. But Joe,
amazing Japanese barbecue, Gerald. Amazing Japanese barbecue.
Amen. Exactly. And you know what? The decision making by Luka, you're right, Joe. He passed up those layups with the mentality, oh, yes, let's pass it up for the three. I get it. People are on Luka because of the 2 defensive possessions that they scored on him. I agree. But no ego puts in there. Luka is in shape. He's shaped like a circle with more, heavy set jokes and all that out of shape jokes. The guy dropped 34, 7, and 7 on 11 to 21 shooting tonight and 60% on threes and 6 to 7 from the line. And there's still people giving him a ton of crap, Joe. You could give him crap for the missed layups, for the decision to not make the layups. You can give him crap for the defense. I'll give that to you. But to go ahead and just keep with the fat jokes and all that for a guy that just dropped 34, 7, and 7 for us on 60% three-point shooting, what do you guys want? What do you guys expect from him? He was this player in Dallas. He was
Gerald,
a defensive liability in Dallas.
Gerald, we have had the We Talk Mavs, and shout out to We Talk Mavs. I know it still hurts. You're still hurting, brothers. I know. But one day soon, we're gonna have you back on. Will you be able to chill and talk as friends again? But I know you're still in mourning. That being said, they've been on here and they've talked about Luka's defense, Gerald, and they would know better than us, watching him constantly. As we've watched him as well, but not as much as they have. And as Gerald has said, Luka's had this reputation in Dallas for if he's not asked to play lateral defense, he's very adequate in all the other areas, Gerald. However, if you ask him to play one-on-one ISO 24 feet away from the basket, you see what happens.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, what do you guys want? 34, 7, and 7 tonight, Joe. And so, well, how many points did Luka give up? Did he give up 34 points on the other end? Go ahead.
This is generally the defense on the Lakers is generally a team defense issue. There are individual breakdowns. Luka's not going to be a all defensive team player anytime soon, and that's just the reality of that. If you're going to keep hanging your stuff on that, then you're never going to be happy. Luka is not.
Let me just say this: Lakers all day on the last show, that last post-game show we did. When I went off before I left on him for his comments on Luka, and his words were, "I know he's a superstar, but," and he went blah blah blah, Max Christie, I love him, blah blah blah, and all that stuff. But again, it should stop. The sentence stops right there. I know he's a superstar. We have a superstar. He gets 34, 7, and 7. Is he a perfect player? Obviously not. But was AD getting us anywhere? No. We now have a player that brings a whole new dynamic for now and the future. I still don't understand why there's still so much Luka hate every single time. Yes, his defense was terrible. I agree. I understand that. But still, 34, 7, and 7. I'll bring it right back in their faces.
Can't argue with that.
I don't think there's.
But people want to, John.
Don't even give that shit light. What the fuck? We have.
I don't even. Yeah, there's. I mean,
it's like giving light.
To put Max Christie in the same sentence with Luka is. You're just. That's one of those things where you just kind of get up and walk out. You're like.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I don't really give that any. I don't really give that any credence.
Will Ferrell as Robert Goulet say on SNL, Joe? Would you hire a plumber? Okay. He was a great Robert Goulet. Come on.
He was a good Harry Carey too. Hey, no. When he was talking to Colin.
Barbecue ribs on the moon.
Hey, no. and he's talking to Colin at that point, right? And he's like, Colin, Norm, whatever. if you were a hot dog, would you eat yourself? I know I would. Everybody's looking at us like, what the hell are these guys talking about?
Oh, they know.
Anyways, we all nitpick, right? I'm trying to nitpick at the stuff that you should do every game. You know, effort, availability, fundamentals. If LeBron is not
Oh my God. Did they put LSD in my salad?
Yeah. if they have a bad night shooting, if they're just not clicking, look, there's a you can see it. If the other team is shooting lights out, if they're getting run down, like those things are actually easy to spot and just say, okay, this is what this is. But our frustration with this team has been their decision making in the simple things, not being available for whatever reason, sitting down. Let's say DFS. Apparently, he's got sore ankles. Okay, he's got sore ankles, but get over it. Don't you guys have massage tables and some shots that you can give him? Like, we need this guy to play out there. We need this guy to be available. You maybe win the Brooklyn game when you played him. You might win something that the Charlotte game if you just were able to focus on that game and say, look, we need to win this game. But these guys play with, and John is kind of put it together perfectly, unfounded arrogance. That's what it is. It is unfounded arrogance. That should not be on this team. You're not in a position to be arrogant at all. If you're the Boston Celtics, you might be the only team that has a position there. Even Cleveland and even Oklahoma City don't have that position. They haven't won anything yet. So I would like to think that Luka and LeBron should lead this the correct way and keeping them focused, but they're part of the problem too a little bit. They're the leaders. They're not. There's no accountability and be available. We're gonna go pound our fist until we get what we need. I don't know if that ever. I don't know if that exists anymore. Actually, I think that's something we might have to.
Like, and honestly, are we really like? I don't like that particularly either. That narrative, because that doesn't exist in your profession, John, or your profession, Gerald, or your profession, Joe, where, yeah, you know what, guys, we gotta go out there today and work harder than we ever. Like, you don't need to tell your people that, Joe. The professional.
And we got Rodell with another dumb statement of the day. Hold on, let me say this, Sean. We got another dumb statement of the day from Rodell. You guys are setting yourself up for failure. Guys will be sitting tomorrow. I don't know how many will sit.
Well,
because
good for you, Rodell. You know what, man? Why do you always have to be the dumb fuck that has to be right all the time?
Which he's not.
I'm the smartest guy in the room, and they're gonna sit guys to like. Who gives a shit, man? Why do you gotta always be right? Why can't you enjoy the game? You just always gotta be that guy that's gotta go against the grain, right?
We're not doubting the possibility that can happen. I don't know. We're not setting ourselves up for failure. What it will set up to be is a rant from us if they do sit people down and the Lakers lose, John.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, me and Sean were talking on this on the stream. I think it was yesterday, the day before yesterday. We don't have the ability to do that, guys. Like, sometimes you have to buy equity to be able to do shit, right? And if we would have played and won some of these winnable games throughout the season, or just been in a better place, we would have had that equity bought, but we don't have that equity bought. And I mean, I sound like a broken track record because Gerald said it, Joe said it, Sean said it. We cannot rest players. Every game has got to be a must win. And Mr. Gadget, appreciate you showing love, brother. I don't need the thumbnails because I do 3-minute game recaps on the shorts, so appreciate you on that. But just wanted to say that. But anywho, guys, look, anyone that says we are gonna rest, or anyone that says we should rest, exactly what Joe and I just said. Just look at him in the face and just walk out of the room. It's just the same way that if someone complains about missing Max Christie because of our perimeter defense when we have Luka Doncic on this team, it is a dumb point, guys. Dumb point.
I still can't believe it. I just scratched my head at just people that are.
We're all over the place tonight. I'm going to admit it. I'm in an area here where I don't know. I'm excited. I was excited. I screamed enough from that last shot, but I had to not scream it loud because you guys were 5 seconds delayed. Scared the shit out of everybody in my house. Was trying to be quiet on top of that, so you guys didn't get spoiled with it. And then you go back. You did I did a quick scan of the entire 2.5 hours of watching this, and I'm like, it was as bipolar a game as you could have. And then what we have to thank ourselves for is now we have to jump into this stupid thing where, are they going to be available tomorrow? And that ruins the juice. This is what this has become. Are they going to be available tomorrow? Really?
You know what? It was bipolar until the big dick finished, Joe.
What the fuck? Sean coming out of left field with that comment.
I don't know what that means, but
Hey, he went to a Japanese barbecue tonight
And got some.
and then some. And then some.
Got some. And
He got dessert too.
was it
I
dessert?
got dessert. I got dessert, all right.
Was it
Joe.
dessert?
there's
It was dessert.
it's very difficult.
But it was more like Niagara Falls.
Oh my god.
It's very difficult to kind of anticipate consistency. There's been some consistency in spurts.
Well, what I mean by big dick finish, and Joe's being facetious because he knows exactly what the goddamn fuck I mean. He's just being a little jerk tonight. A big jerk. He's 6'4". You know exactly what I meant. Like it might have been a meandering up and down game, but that finish when they mobbed him, you were right. You had instincts. You called it. You said the Lakers were due for a buzzer beater, and you saw the way they mobbed him. And you also mentioned that you thought that a game like this could spark a big run. And we talked about them trying to play the right way into the playoffs, because teams that play well in April play well in May, play well in June, and they hoist a trophy. Now, I'm not saying that this can lead to something like that, but like you said, it could lead to something, and that's what they need.
It's winning. Winning is a
What does
winning.
Dabo Sweeney say all the time, Joe? You got to enjoy the wins.
I don't.
I know you hate losing more than you love
very
winning.
Hard.
You hate losing.
Actually, I'm sorry. That is not true.
Winning.
I'm sorry. You're right, but it's also not true. I think because of this season and how it's played out, there's two different eras of basketball that happened this year, and then you had the Luka era start, and there was a lot of just momentum from that, and then all of a sudden it died. And then LeBron got hurt after having a phenomenal month in February. And I think what happened there was it clicked a little bit like it did in 2021. LeBron was on his way to possibly another MVP, and then that piece of shit fell on him. And then
Solomon Hill. We know
Solomon Hill,
your fucking name,
looking like he's been living in a trash can and a dumpster.
He looks like
time.
Oscar the Grouch's illegitimate son.
I'm gonna go back to the same thing every time. The Celtics winning last year, and the worry about them winning is probably the root of my issues right now. I don't talk about it a lot because I don't want to bring up their name as much as I can not bring it up. But that's a worry, because if they end up winning again this year, we're fucked. We're not going to see them pass these guys probably anytime soon, and that's what I'm pissed off about. So if you got to participate, man. Like I don't understand this participation stuff, and I'm gonna go into what I think might have happened here. I had a thought yesterday about why guys are not available anymore. I think I might know what it might be, but I'm gonna little tease for the Joe Soro experiment.
Okay. And on that note, just make sure you go ahead and like and subscribe to that channel, the Joe Soro Experiment. It is, of course, the Lakers winning 120-119. John Costa, Clutch Talk Lakers Corner. Magic Man, the very happy man from the Japanese barbecue and dessert. And, of course, Joe Soro. Right there for you, Mr. Simblades.
So what's the dessert? Rice pudding?
Let's not go there.
No, it was a scoop of green tea ice cream.
I like that.
Okay.
Just a lot of silence tonight.
But the Evian water finish,
yeah,
was great, Joe.
That's good. That's good. Congratulations. I hope.
So, John, getting back to the game, again, the Lakers now in fourth place in Western Conference. It looks like they are going to stay there because Denver is up 6 with about 7 minutes left. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But with that, the Lakers head to Chicago. I think they need a better effort for 4 quarters. Like what has been already guessed, maybe that Dalton will get more minutes tomorrow because he didn't get it really any today. I'm finding the bench rotation minutes concerning. I know that, again, a lot of the fingers are being pointed of Jared Vanderbilt's way. I guess he was plus 22. But as the great Sean Grice would say, Mr. Japanese Barbecue himself, he was a cardio bro today, getting the big fat donut, and really did not do much that we saw on the court today. 6 rebounds, 3 assists.
Gerald, have you ever talked to somebody who just did CrossFit? And the only thing they could talk about is CrossFit. That's the only thing they talk about. You're at the gym. I'm a nice guy, Gerald. You know that. When I'm not in mourning over somebody close to me dying, I'm a nice person. And when I'm doing my squats, I don't want to hear about how passionate you are about CrossFit. I don't give a fuck. Same thing with cardio bros on the basketball court. Get off the court. If all you're going to do is run up and down, you're not going to cut, you're not going to charge, you're not going to come hard on the screen and roll, you're not going to roll hard on the pick or the screen, then fuck off. Go sit down. We don't have time for cardio bros.
Absolutely do not have time for cardio bros.
If you look at, so Jared Vanderbilt tonight did himself a solid. He didn't make one fumbling play. He was a plus 24 tonight in just 16 minutes. So he might have played really good defense to make things work.
And Rodell is correct when he says I don't take too much stock into the game plus minus. It's meaningless in a singular game. That's a correct observation. So shout out to him, Gerald. He's wrong in one sense. Well, he's wrong in one sense and right in the other. So, I mean, I agree because the plus minus is flawed, Gerald.
I didn't say your mileage may differ on exactly the plus minus. I mean, for instance, Dalton Connect, he was a plus 18 in 5 minutes, but he only took 1 shot. and he
Yeah.
only got 1 rebound. How effective was he in that? Or like you said, was he just on the court when the Lakers were able to go ahead and make a run? But let me get John back in here. The rotation minutes for the bench, are they of concern to you? Goodwin, who is on his final day as a two-way player, he has run out of games officially as of tonight, according to Bobby Marks from ESPN. So the Lakers have to figure out what they're going to do after that. Are you concerned with how the minutes were run and allocated tonight as far as coming out the bench and the fact that Jackson Hayes, 18 minutes only for him, even though he was a perfect 6 for 6 from the field?
Honestly, if you guys have been tuned in to the last couple of streams, this is been one of my biggest like points that I've been harping on is JJ Redick and his rotations. Like it's been pretty good all season long, and I've gave him credit for that. But the time that it's been bad, I've also called him out on that. And I feel like if we could go back to the Orlando game, right? And I'll harp on it again. We were going up against Orlando Magic, where their smallest player was Anthony Black at 6'7", yet we were running a small ball lineup and had no rim protection. And ultimately, it's kind of one of the reasons why we lost that game. And I think that similar happened this game. Now we weren't facing Orlando Magic team that is huge, but I still did think we needed some type of rim protection out there. I do still think we needed some type of big out there. But even more than that, I think that you have to build your team and you have to put players around your star player that's going to elevate his game. We all know Luka Doncic's game elevates more and more and more when he has that pick to run high pick and rolls with, to roll to the hoop, because then it opens up the floor not only for Luka because he gets players on his hip, and once you get a player on your hip, doesn't matter if the player behind you is freaking Wilt Chamberlain. If you're on my hip, it's really over. Or he gets a lob option, or if players are if the defense crashes because now Luka has a defender on his hip, now you're just playing drive and kick basketball. And to me, it's like you take Jackson Hayes out of there and this whole equation you just put to bed. And the small ball, to me, it doesn't work out when we go small ball. I feel like we rely on a lot more isolation, just isos, just Luka, and let's watch 4 players are standing around watching Luka, or just Braun and 4 players are standing around watching Braun, or even same thing with AR. So to me, I would say like we have to get away from the small ball. I'm not going to say Hayes' minutes should be mirrored with Luka, but until we get a big that can be more sustainable than Hayes, I believe that Hayes should be. If Luka's out there, I think Hayes should be out there, unless it's a defensive like liability to where it might happen. It might come playoffs, but because of Luka's offensive talent, you might have to live with it. You know what I'm saying? You might have to just live and die by it. Riddell said, I was a big Cam Reddish guy. I think he's done for the season. I'm sure some NBA teams will look for him. I was a big Cam Reddish guy only because I cared about the backcourt defense, and I knew that I was a big Cam Reddish guy when we had D'Lo, and I was like, well, we can't have D'Lo and AR. Somebody's got to play defense against a league where backcourt players are just so damn elite. Somebody's got to be able to play defense, and D'Lo and AR weren't going to be the answer. That's why I was a bigger Cam Reddish guy. But I'm glad he's not getting that much burn, to be honest with you.
So Gerald, I don't have a perfect memory, but I do remember in late November, early December, our defense was god awful, atrocious.
Oh yeah,
And that was when Jared Vanderbilt wasn't in the lineup and Anthony Davis was in the starting lineup and Dalton Connect was not getting a lot of playing time because his defense was awful. And it was evident throughout that stretch that he needed a lot of work defensively. And it looks like he hasn't improved that much defensively since then, Gerald, because bad habits die hard, as the old heads say, and his defense just isn't up to snuff. He doesn't get low enough. He allows his hips to betray him a lot of times, as you've noted before, Gerald, especially when you get him in the air. And quite frankly, old habits die hard. I'm sorry to repeat myself, but like our defensive habits just were not there in late November, early December, and that was with AD, and that was without Jared Vanderbilt, and that was still with LeBron and Austin Reeves on the team. And quite frankly, I asked Joe a point blank question last night, and I thought his answer was pretty stark. Do you remember what I asked you, Joe? Have the Lakers played their best ball, or is their best ball ahead of them? And you were
Now I
honest.
remember. Yeah,
You were honest. Do you remember what you said?
best that they played their best ball.
Yeah. Now I'm not as confident in that as you are, but I think some guys have played their best basketball already. I think Joe's right there, and that's what I think he was trying to say. That some guys have played their best basketball.
Well, since we're
I think Luka's best basketball is still ahead of him because he's still
Absolutely.
figuring out how to get guys their best shots in their best spots.
Well, if
I
you're
think
shooting
that's still
50% from the field and 60% from three, I'd like it. If it gets even better, I'll
Well,
take that,
Yeah,
Magic.
yeah, but I think some guys have played their best ball already, Joe.
to keep it in line
I'm
with
not
the
prepared to call them out yet, but I think it's pretty evident.
to
I
keep it
think
in line
that's
with
what
the
I was
theme of the
trying to-
night.
Joe was trying to say.
Yeah,
Sorry, Joe.
yeah, it's okay. To keep it in the theme of tonight's show, they blew their wad early, and
It wasn't early, but okay.
now
The
that doesn't mean they stop. That doesn't mean they're not going to continue to flourish. However, just like when you fire a coach, they usually play really hard for that interim coach for a few weeks, and then it settles down. I think their defense was off the charts at the beginning, but then they started to once teams started adjusting to their play, they kind of came back down to earth, which is why there was a lot of discussion about the correct path to the title. And some had interpreted as looking at it from a soft perspective. If that's how you look at it, then you never watched boxing. You never watched sports, really. Matchups matter. Matchups matter in this thing. And I'm trying to gauge the team's strengths and weaknesses based off what team they should be would be ideal to play against so that they don't tax themselves. This is the result. The results have already come to the forefront. They are tired.
Joe, I love what you just said. You know what image I conjured up? Do you remember the real good "Who's Your Daddy" matchup in the NBA? Because I do.
As far as the dominating,
It was LaMarcus Aldridge and Dwight Howard. Who's your daddy? I'm your daddy, Dwight. That was the last one I really remember. There have been others, but that was the one.
Yeah, it's.
And by the way, Dwight, fuck you.
Sean is on one tonight.
Fuck you, Dwight, because you had a great career in Orlando. You come to the Lakers, you're spurring the Lakers. It is what it is. You come back, you help us win a title, but still you got to troll us the other night. Like you just couldn't let it go, could you, Dwight? Fuck you, Dwight.
Let me hop in here really quick. Sam Khan. I personally probably would go Trey Jamison only because I do think Koloko is a better lob option, but I just think that Trey Jameson's just a better overall player at this point. I see Koloko out there sometimes just making some dumb-headed mistakes and not catching the ball, and so to me, it's like, look, man, I need you to at least be able to do the basics, and Trey Jamison can at least do the basics and gives us a little bit more of a puff out your chest a little bit more. You feel, you feel kind of good when you got somebody behind you that, a James Johnson, right? You would talk a little bit more, puff out your chest a little bit more, knowing that you got big bro behind you that's ready for all that. So that's what I'll say on that. And I did just want to tell everyone, if you guys want to check me out, I'm about to go do my 3-minute recap though, real quick. But if you guys want to go check me out, please do check out Lakers Corner on YouTube. On Instagram, it's Lakers_corner. On TikTok, I just hit 7,000 followers, man. So please go support. Trying to get to 10,000. That's when you can really see
What's
some money.
TikTok?
Oh, I'm sorry, Gerald, but I'll tell everyone on TikTok to go check out Lakers Fast Break. So I'll do what I can in that regard. But please go check it out.
Anything before you leave? Anything for I speak the truth?
I speak the truth, brother. I need my money. I need my money, brother. I need you to DM me. You're in the chat all the time, the Lakers Corner live chat. So I need you to just DM me on you could DM me on Twitter on Lakers Corner 2, on TikTok, Lakers
Venmo.
Corner 24, Venmo. Just come on, brother. I need that. But great win, back to back. I'm gonna go do my recap, give my daughter dinner, be a parent, and then I'm gonna see you boys tomorrow. Joe, Sean, Gerald, it's great to see you boys.
John, that's a real man talk right there. That's a real man. Good to spend time with his family.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. See you
later.
The Japanese barbecue really sounds good right about now.
A man who doesn't spend time with his family is not a real man.
He looks back at Sonny.
By the way, Las Vegas,
Love
Japanese
that scene, Joe. That's my favorite scene in The Godfather.
888 here in Las Vegas. But once again, it is the Lakers Fast Break. The Lakers win 120-119. Parade on Figueroa has a question I'm going to throw at Joe here. Does this victory leave you uneasy or hopeful for things to come? That's Parade on Figueroa on Twitch.
It's really not the game. It's just the pattern that they've had, where they'll play well and then they'll stop themselves. I don't know if they're going to stop themselves because they want to rest, because it's a back end of a back-to-back. It's just it's the way of the game in the NBA and football. It's all sports is just getting softer and softer, and you don't know when to get excited for the next game. Really, you look at we're wasting air on, are they going to be available tomorrow? Denver's going to win tonight.
You know what the more pressing question is now, Joe? What's going on with Jordan Goodwin, Gerald? Because now you have to make a decision. Time has come. Mm-hmm. This was the last game you had where your feet were just getting wet. So now you decide whether or not you go to the deep end with Jordan Goodwin and Trey Jamison and or Christian Koloko. So what do you think, Joe? Do you think two guys get waived and they sign Goodwin and Jamison for the rest of the year?
For sure. For sure, Goodwin. There's no choice. There's too much talent there. And
you think Jamison, it's the injury? Because I'd rather have him than Len.
Yeah, I just don't. I don't know how. Equal. I just don't know how they're gonna handle the Len relationship. That's the one thing they might look at it as, look, it doesn't matter. Len and Jamison are pretty much a wash. Even if Len is a little bit less, it doesn't matter. I think the relationship takes precedent over Jamison's hair higher in his effectiveness.
Yeah, but I mean, Milton's contract in the offseason with the cap going up 10% is just too valuable. I mean, and he's not a two-way. Gerald's correct. He's on a contract. But you're not going to waive him. His contract is too valuable as a non-guaranteed in the offseason to waive.
It's got to be Reddish.
It's got to be Reddish because you have to allocate the proper resources, and you're not gonna waive Milton to keep Reddish. No way.
But who would you, if you want to bring on Koloko or Jameson, do you get rid of Morris or do you get rid of Len? Len, though, again, like Joe had talked about, I've got to give credit for Joe. It's like maybe there's a deal in place. Why did he spurn Indiana to come to Lakers? Was that a deal with the agent or whatnot? What kind of effects down the line if are ramifications? If that agent has a player that you do covet,
I would just prefer to keep Keefe because I think he's a glue guy in the locker room. And I know that maybe to some people that sounds really obstinate or foolish. But the fact of the matter is that there is the potential for some disgruntlement in the locker room, Gerald. We've seen it before with certain guys on the Lakers. Again, not naming names, but you know who I'm talking about. And I just think having a guy who can calm the waters like Keith Morris is a lot more valuable than Alex Len.
Agree, Joe?
Yes, I agree. And the Lakers have to summon some kind of energy the next week or 2 weeks and change because they only have one more 2-day break before the end of the season.
Let me ask you this, though. With tonight's game, do you think they at least they locked up a top 6 seed? There are three games in the loss column ahead of Golden State. And also,
and that's really for Joe because we own the season series against them, regardless of the outcome of the remaining game we have. We're 3-0 this year. So pardon me, Joe.
Yeah, 3's not enough right now. If it was 5, yes.
So another game. They need another game.
I think they need 5 and the tiebreaker because
okay.
The Lakers the Lakers are going to face Oklahoma City twice, and then they have to play Dallas in 5 nights. So 3 road games, which they have struggled at, and I'm worried about that Portland game at the end of the year in Portland. Portland is another area where the Lakers do not win. Although I will say this, LeBron has won in Portland a lot since he's been a Lakers, so that might be a wash. But those 3 games, it's going to come down to the Oklahoma City run, that whole Texas Oklahoma run.
But OKC might be so far ahead that they might rest guys.
The Lakers have the Southwest with a little bit of sprinkling the Warriors, and I think the Blazers as well. Jared, correct me if I'm wrong. I think the Lakers have the Blazers on their schedule as well. So, it's basically the Southwest and the Warriors and Blazers.
There's also a New Orleans in there as well.
They're in the Southwest.
Yeah, that's true. And the Houstons are in there as well, the Southwest as well. So, yeah. After the Chicago game, like you said, they're facing are Western Conference foes after tomorrow's game against Chicago, which we'll have at 5 p.m.
And by the way, the Lakers are 30 and 11, I believe 30 and 13 against the West this year. So they play the West really, really well. At least
those
we got
2 games
that going for us.
What do
2
you
games
think,
against Houston?
What do you think they're talking about in terms of seeding? Are they literally looking at this as, hey, let's just get the top 4?
Yes,
I think so.
That because Luka and LeBron have both made the finals with 5 seeds.
I think they should be looking higher. I think Joe agrees with me on that. I think you agree with me on that, Sean. But again, hindsight's 20/20.
I can't accept a finals appearance. Either you get there, win it all, or you don't go there. because I got a weird feeling that it's going to be the Celtics. You can't lose to the Celtics on top of everything. So I'm going to be on edge until this thing is done with them. I don't know any other way to look
I
at
don't
it.
have a toothpick, but Joe's on the razor's edge.
That he is, but
I
is
will
tomorrow.
be. This is a Laker thing, in about less than 24 hours.
Joe,
Yes.
all I could do is quote John Belushi from Animal House. Where's the guts?
So what do you think they need to do the rest of the way? Because Martin says if the Lakers win 52 games, they're going to be top 3. Joe?
Looking at the standings right now, for them to win 52 games, that means they have to go 8-4 to finish the season. So let's look at that for a second. 8-4. Who are the 4 losses? Let's just say Oklahoma City is 1.
You drop one of the remaining.
There are 10 games left, Joe. 10 games left.
You drop one. You drop at least one of the Memphis and 2 Houston.
Oh, it is 10 games.
You got. So that's at least 2.
Oh, actually, is it 11?
That's at least 2. That's at least 2. And then you're probably going to lose at least one other of the back-to-backs you got. So that's 3.
6-4. Wow.
And then probably a home game that we probably should win that we're likely going to lose.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna roll. Here's what I'm gonna roll with. I think the Portland game is gonna be a decider of something, so I think they're gonna play hard to get that one. So I'm gonna say they lose to Memphis, both Oklahoma City games, and one of the Houston games. I don't know which one. 6-4 to win 50. But if they get 52, that means they win one of the Oklahoma City games and they sweep the Houston run. And then at that point, they're guaranteed a 3 at that point. They would get the 3. There'd have to be some key losses for Houston to not get the 2, especially after losing the Lakers twice.
See, to me, there's no reason why OKC, Houston, or Denver would rest their guys either. So why are we going to rest ours? Like, ask yourself this question, ladies and gentlemen, because you're out there. OKC is young, inexperienced, and they will likely sweep their first-round opponent regardless of whether they rest their guys or not. So why would they rest, Gerald? Why would they rest? I've never seen any evidence of a young team with this streak resting their guys. It doesn't make
But we've seen it before. They did it with Luka sitting out the entire fourth quarter of that game before.
Yeah, I know. We got to go against the grain too, because our strength and conditioning coach has his head up his own ass and decides that, somehow this team that got younger, and they're resting their guys. I don't get it. Okay.
I'm just
we're called an old team by Richard Jefferson. What the fuck is he watching? Can somebody explain this to me? No, Gerald, I'm serious. We
just
trade
LeBron.
We trade a 31.
Morris,
We trade a 31
DFS.
AD. Oh, okay, but how much older is DFS compared to D'Angelo? Isn't D'Angelo 28?
No, D'Angelo's 30. I think he's right.
Okay,
on.
DFS is 31.
31, I think.
He's turning 32, though, right?
Oh, he's turning 32. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So we got a little bit older with the DFS trade. We get a little bit older with the Keith thing, but we still got 25-year-old superstar, and somehow we're an older team because of a 40-year-old LeBron.
Mhm.
This is why Richard Jefferson never won a championship, ladies and gentlemen.
He did in
was
Cleveland.
He
oh,
did.
excuse
In
me.
Cleveland.
He rode LeBron's coattails to a championship. Excuse me. Pardon me. Just like Mitch Richmond in LA.
James, I agree with you again, but we'll have to wait and see. We said this before, leading into the Milwaukee game, and then what happened?
There's a reason the Spurs fucking kicked his ass when he was in net, and there's a reason we busted his balls. He's not a smart man, Joe. He's not a smart man.
Richard
So to
Jefferson.
get to 52,
I said it.
Lakers have to go
Fucking
8-2.
dumbass Richard Jefferson.
So if that's the case, Sean and Joe, the Lakers have to go 8-2 to get to 52 wins. That would, and Martin is saying that would put them in the top 3. Do you agree if they go 8-2, that would put them in the top 3?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay. 3 for sure. Small chance to get maybe the 2 if there's some key losses as well.
Mm-hmm.
3 is something we take. I mean, we take anything right now at this point, right? But if you want a chance at winning it all, you got to get as high as you can. And I'm not talking about reefer either.
I'm just gonna say, if Joe, if
reefer, did you just say the word reefer?
Yes, he did.
What are we in the 1930s?
Mm-hmm.
Reefer Madness.
I'm a big Back to the Future fan. I'm a big Back to the Future fan. And there's a scene where they put Marty in the trunk and the guy comes out and he goes, "The hell are you doing in my car, man?" And then there's a very derogatory comment after that. And then before they get chased off, he's like, "Now, I don't want to mess with no reefer addicts." And since I was a kid, that's how I've described that my whole life, with the word reefer. Just because I like.
What was one of the most famous movies for a long time, guys, in regards to marijuana usage? Reefer Madness, from the old black and white film.
Yeah. I bet Joe also uses the word guesstimate as well.
No, I don't do that. That's out of.
It's fucking lame too.
No, I don't guesstimate. I estimate or I guess.
So do you see them?
And I don't say ginormous either.
James, I believe it was, in the chat, had a good point in regards to not sitting LeBron out because he has to qualify for 65 games. I get that. Luka, though, on the back-to-backs, I don't get it. They threw away, or they've already punted away a game, and they punted away another game.
Let's give away another game. Let's give away another game. Sure, why not? Let's just give it away.
That's the apprehensiveness of our discussion tonight. I'm apprehensive because I don't know what to be excited about now that this game is over. It was an instant gratification win. Nice to see a buzzer beater finally go our way. But now we're in that hollow area of, are they going to play again tomorrow? This is the culture of sports now. Are they going to play? Well, not in basketball.
Because tomorrow, Joe, the Grizzlies are at the Thunder, and the Rockets are at the Jazz. Nuggets have the day off.
You got to win these games, dude. Chicago is not a good team. I know they whooped their ass the last time, but they're not a good team. The 30 and 40 team is not a good team. You should be able to beat these guys. Return the favor. Have some pride.
Yeah.
What I got, you got to get. I'm not going to finish it, Gerald. But you know the
Well,
song.
I agree with Natalia. She says if she sees Bronny, the guy coming off of a 39-point game in the G League, and Connect play 30 minutes tomorrow, I'm gonna lose it.
Is that it? Well, that could be interpreted two different ways. One way is that's very good news, and the other is very shitty news.
Let's hope it's for good.
I'm hopefully that's good news, Natalia. But I do like the way you phrased it because
It's very difficult to watch sports.
Shut up, Joe.
It's very difficult to watch sports and have to deal with listening about family matters.
What?
Yeah, family matters. By the way, whatever you're drinking, take less sips.
I'm not drinking anything, you son of a bitch.
You sound like you are.
I'm not.
So if you don't want me to shut it for you, take the easy route. I can't watch the interview with LeBron on his whatever soapbox because they're talking about a bunch of shit that has nothing to do with the team. I have to hear about
That's right. This man knows I'm a diabetic, ladies and gentlemen, and he lets my blood sugar go low. Oh, your speech is slurred, Sean. Yeah, well, I'm gonna go take care of that, you asshole.
Oh my God.
Whatever.
All right. Let's focus. Just finish off strong. Come on. Unlike the Lakers in that first quarter, let's finish off this strong.
It's been an erratic show tonight. It makes sense. I knew that would get him off, by the way.
Yes. Thameless says he loves the dysfunctional family vibe. Yes, that we have it. With the brothers, Sports Baby and Xbox, they get along so well. And Joe and Sean and John as well. Yes. But yes, we will have a debate, another GOAT debate, but we're going to put that on a separate day, everyone. Put it on a non-Lakers day. I'll schedule it at a time. I'll mediate, and I'll let these two go at it. So you will get what's been asked for. But check out the video that I've already dropped between these two already. Joe?
Yeah, it'll be fun because John had nothing that night, no matter how delusional he gets, and I got more for him, and it's gonna be guillotine time. And we're gonna let the audience decide. They're gonna know.
Yep. But Grizzlies at Thunder tomorrow, Joe. We can actually get a game up on them if all works out well. But we got to have everybody there. I just think this team needs to get time together, to play together, to get reps together, especially on the defensive end. Yes, I know people are still like all over Luka. You know what? You're right. His defense at times wasn't up to snuff. Neither was LeBron's at times. They looked the part tonight. But on the offense, Luka got it done, and when it mattered the most, LeBron did too.
We cannot expect players to do what you want them to do when they don't do that kind of work. Luka is not a shutdown defender. What we should be expecting this team is to do the basics. That is probably the most frustrating part of this. Magic Johnson never made a all-defensive team, and he was considered, when he retired in 1991, possibly the best player ever, even above Kareem. And that needs to be, if you're looking for a two-way stud like Kobe or Jordan or Pippen or Kawhi Leonard, those guys are as rare as a 30-point a game scorer. Those guys those guys don't exist very often. Luka is who he is. What I didn't like about Luka tonight was I didn't like him passing away layups. That needs to stop. And it sucks because I think it's not going to stop. It's the culture of the NBA. Get a three, get a three, get a three. And then LeBron not asserting himself It's not anything that hasn't happened before. I saw numerous times stars in the past pace themselves. And then sometimes the shot doesn't get down. That's fine. LeBron had 13 rebounds tonight. He asserted himself in the areas where he was still able to contribute. Sometimes that happens. It's okay. The mistakes, the brain farts, are the ones that piss me off more than anything. Even Vanderbilt. Notice we didn't say anything negative about Vanderbilt. He had 0 points. But if you watch him play in the 15 minutes he played, he was a little bit of a nuisance on defense, enough to where the Lakers were able to extend their leads when he was in there. Mistakes is what drives me nuts. Mistakes that are unforced. That's what I'm asking for. Mistakes that are unforced and willingly quitting to play games because you want to manage your activity, quote unquote. And I'm not going to ever be on board with that, especially when you're talking about guys that are in their primes. The only guy that's not in his prime right now is LeBron James. And that prime is a prime that only a handful of people have ever had in sports. Just sports. And he's still damn good. So if you want to save that guy a little bit, it makes sense. The common sense is there. And everyone else is free. You got to be able to free yourself from this. That's it. I don't know there's nowhere else to go with it.
Last question I'm going to hit you up with is this. It was mentioned in our chat previously on previous post games, especially during the Lakers losing streak. But to some, the trio of Reeves, who at times in the first half, he did go back to the locker room for a bit, but he did come back. He played really well. But him, Luka, and LeBron just don't seem to be gelling as fast or as well at times as I think a lot of people were hoping for, or a lot of people come to expect. Your thoughts seeing those three out there again? Austin, he was 50% for the field, although he was 1 of 8 from 3. He got 24. Luka 34. LeBron, off game for him point wise 13, but he did get the 13 and 7 on top of that. Your thoughts, my friend, on this? I mean, they don't seem to be 100% in sync together yet, but I still think it's a work in progress.
If you're going to run Luka, LeBron, and AR for the future, you are going to likely need to supplement that starting lineup with bona fide defending athletes at the 5 and the 4. Or, I mean, at the 2. We said this already. I don't think there's anything that I haven't already said on this. The Lakers would need to get an athlete that can come back and get that ball when they're getting pressed, because I think that's how teams with athletic Dobermans are going to play Luka and play LeBron, and then you have a center who can really cover ground, who can get out quick and then come back into the paint quick as well, who's athletic enough to get rebounds. Problem with that is that those guys cost money, and there's not a lot of those guys out there. I don't even know at the top of my head who would that be. There are guys that will rebound, but are they fast enough to get from the perimeter to the paint? If you want to set this team up, the Reeves, Luka, LeBron team, the right way, you have to have specific. To me, you have to have a specific center that caters to their deficiencies, and that's on the defensive end, as well as making sure that he's athletic enough to where they can play their offense. And then the second guard needs to be what who would be a good pick? Who's a really good two guard that can play defense and shoot? That's the guy you want, which is kind of obvious, right?
I don't know how Dyson Daniels is shooting wise. I haven't taken a look at his stats in a little while. So, but I've seen him on the defensive end just last week against Golden
I was going to
State.
say Whitmore. It's funny. Someone said someone is in the name. Someone.
Whitmore can score like no tomorrow,
Whitmore-
but he's on the
his-
Whitmore's benched. Joe Whitmore doesn't play
Yeah,
because
his head is not in the game. I get it, but that's the athleticism that this team needs. They need that guy that plays the two. That kid. Oh, I know who it is. They needed somebody like maybe a Marcus Smart who can shoot. Something like that. A Drew Holiday. Yeah, like last year. They need a Drew Holiday of last year.
Not this year.
Not this year. Drew Holiday last year. That's the player they need. It's hard because Drew's still making $30 million a year, right? That's really if you want to do that. Now, the Jalen Suggs, yes, that's another one too. But my brain is stuck on the names because it's like that little tick is going, Joe, you're not going to be able to get these guys. These guys are $30, $40 million guys. So that's the problem. I'm trying to figure out my factory reset on that player is getting lucky in the draft. That's what would have to happen like next year because they'll have a first round pick next year, at least for right now. And can they find and they have enough assets and some draft capital too to possibly go get that big that they want. That's other than that, then you have to move AR to the bench and let him be a super six, a six starter, like Manu Ginobili, and then put three guys next to Luka and LeBron that are more conducive of spreading out that floor and running and gunning a little bit. And then you can take LeBron out after 6 minutes in the first quarter, put AR in, and then run that play, run that team the same way. And I think it'll be fine. It's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff. And it's just difficult. It's difficult because the CBA has made it difficult. And their decision to agree to this is making it difficult. So I don't know how that's going to play. They're going to need luck, I think, to have those three guys starting and rolling. They're going to need a little luck to make it work. Otherwise, they'll get exploited a little bit more when they play the harder teams.
Johnny, no, Milton cannot defend. That's why he's not playing. He is a noted non-defender. That's why he's not been able to be more than a bit player or a spot player in the league who can, pop off some offense. But yeah, he's not been able to stick even when he's had starting opportunities because he just can't defend as much as you need. And we've seen already what happens when you can't defend. You guys are hard on Luka, and in some cases, rightly so, for the defense that he doesn't play, or LeBron at times when LeBron didn't go ahead and provide enough defense tonight. But again, on the offensive end, you got a 34-7-7 performance from Luka, and you got LeBron with the last second tip in, and they do get away with a victory 120-119. Can Goodwin defend? He's okay. I think that he has earned the favor and trust of JJ over guys like Cam Reddish and Shake Milton. So is he an ideal player? But he's certainly not a starter. But maybe somebody can still give you minutes, Joe.
I can't believe I forgot about this. Alex Caruso.
True.
That's
Alex,
the guy. That's the guy that would. So imagine Alex Caruso and Jonathan Isaac, a healthy Jonathan Isaac.
I'd still go with Zubats personally. I think the
Zubac
fact
just
that they
doesn't
run
have
the
the
pick,
athleticism that Isaac has.
but he rebounds. This is something that the Lakers need, rebounds, and he
get
has rim
exploited in the
protection ability.
playoffs because you have to spread the floor with Luca. Otherwise, the
But
paint
he
gets
is
clogged.
he's also a killer on the pick and roll. He's one of the top in the league at the pick and roll.
I'm not talking about the pick and roll. I'm talking about spreading the floor.
Oh,
He'd still clog the lane. They can combat a good defense can combat that. Miles Turner, if he wasn't always injured, he'd be another really good one.
He can't
You saw that
rebound.
tonight.
He can't rebound. It's averaging only 7 rebounds a game. You got to get more. Some of that more averages more than 7 rebounds a game. It's killing the Lakers. You get mad. I've heard you so mad and frustrated when they can't get those defensive rebounds.
Because there needs to be, you have to be a.
Well, they're not going to get Zubats
It's like
anyways.
a rubber band. You got to be able to go out and come back quick. Otherwise, you're not. This is the NBA. Is just too fast, too skilled, too spread out.
They could get Isaac, but they're not. Zubats not. There's no way the Clippers are going to get rid of him. He's playing so well for them.
Zubac would be a good starting center, no doubt. But it's not in the cards. I don't know. It's very difficult to form a team these days. I just don't know how you can have a starting lineup that you're just sitting like, whoa, okay, this is they got all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. It's very difficult. Yeah, Famous, you're right. Turner is soft, and this team isn't necessarily tough either.
And Jonathan Isaac has been injured. You're right.
It's tough. It's a tough one. I'm trying to make it make sense, and everything seems to always point to the fact that AR would best be on a title team, being the Super 6 player, the starting 6 guy, because then the starting lineup would be covered with the right balance of defense and offense. Well, because I'm looking at a I might be still stuck in this. Hey, if you get a good enough team with Luka, you might run a 3-4 title run. That's what I guess I was used to. And 90s had 6. Spurs and Lakers each had 5, and then the Warriors had 4. It was that, we've still had that a little bit, but now that I'm thinking about it, we're halfway through the 20s now, and there hasn't been a repeat champ.
Yeah, Famous Isaac isn't a great rebounder because he's always going for the block shots. Yeah, you're right there. So, I mean, what are you going to have? You either have the block shot guy or you have the rebound guy. So sometimes it's hard to find that mix as well of that perfect center to go alongside LeBron and Luka, but we'll see. But once again, it is, of course, the Lakers winning 120-119. We'll be back tomorrow. Remember, the game time is 5 p.m. It's not nationally televised. So if you want a VIP, got to be early. Got to go ahead and check us out. 5 p.m. Pacific time. It is playback.tv / Lakers Fast Break. And later on, of course, it is the Lakers postgame after that. Joe, before we head on out, I will give you a moment or two to talk about the debut of your new channel, the Joe Soro Experiment.
So my plan is to come out tomorrow. First game of the Dodger game. Now, the channel is my channel, but we will still have the Dodgers Fast Pitch as part of the program, and then there'll be Lakers shows. There'll be all sports shows, as well as every now and then we'll probably throw in a couple of lifestyle type talks. The reason why I called it the experiment is because this is going to be an experiment. I have not hosted a show by myself ever. I've always had a compadre or compadres. I've done solo shows on here, but I've never considered it my show. Never really wanted to do my own show. I prefer to be part of a team just because I like to speak to other people about what my thoughts are. But I was supported and in a lot of ways told, Joe, you need to do your own stuff. And this is from Gerald, starting a little bit of it last year, and then I've had others say, look, I think it's time. So I'm putting together the show. I'm doing what I need to do to get this thing going, and the word will come out. I'll send the necessary information for everyone to find me, and then we'll and again, you can choose to pronounce experiment. I just say experiment because it still sounds like you're saying the O. But if you want to accentuate the O, that's fine as well. I thought that was a little tad, little bit of my name in there to make it kind of cool looking. But yeah, I'm looking forward to talking a little bit of baseball tomorrow and opening up what could be one of the more epic seasons in sports with the Dodgers, because I believe that this will go down in the books. Whether they lose or win, this will be a very memorable year for the LA Dodgers. And of course, we're going to continue to talk about the Lakers as well. And I'll chime in back and forth on the Lakers Fast Break as well as my show. I'll figure all that out as I experiment.
Okay. Well, like I said, you're always welcome here anytime. As I said before, when you were just joining us a few years ago, it is, of course, the Lakers Fast Break. Joe Soro, again, go ahead and check out his channel, Joe Soro Experiment. But also, as well, he'll probably stop by Jeff's channel still, like he did last night. Stop by our channel. He's always welcome. I still have an array of great people here. We're still going to do the post games, off days. We're still here for you. Talking Lakers. But yes, Joe Soro for a little bit of mix of the world of sports. Go ahead and check it out today. Joe Soro Experiment. All right. So with that, yes, it is time to defend the World Series championship for the Dodgers and for the Lakers tomorrow. They're in the Windy City playing the Chicago Bulls. Once again, it's 5 p.m. Pacific. Don't forget to go ahead and check it out. Joe, I don't know how, I told you about playback, with MLB. I don't know how that's going to work stuff out, but we're going to try and maybe share some spots and some times so you can go ahead and show some games on the MLB on playback. I know the Aussies are very excited about that, Joe.
I'm gonna experiment.
Mm-hmm.
We'll experiment. We'll figure it out. Always do.
Figure it out, indeed.
I have a very busy weekend too. Going to be out of town again, so I'm going to try to do really well tomorrow and see what comes of it. And I'll slowly get things where they need to be.
Once again, it is the Lakers 120 to 119. We'll be back tomorrow for more fun, for more arguments, for more criticizing, but hopefully also more praising with the Lakers' victory. And if they're smart, they will play their players tomorrow. Otherwise, you will hear it from us. So for Joe Soro, John Costa, Clutch Talk on Lakers Corner, and the Magic Man, Mr. Japanese Barbecue, and a dessert, I'm Gerald Glassford. Thanks again for watching this. We'll be back tomorrow. As always, on this channel or Joe's channel, we'll be somewhere right here at the Lakers Fast Break Podcast.